call a few minutes ago, and we were discussing Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil. Very interesting story behind this book, which I'll share here in just a second. But what a great book. My name is David Adams, and I'm owner and founder of David Adams Speaks, and our whole purpose, as well as David Adams Speaks, as well as People Steward Leadership. And the whole purpose is to inspire leaders to embrace people stewardship so that they're responsibility for their own growth and development. Now, in today's presentation, we're talking about how can I do, or what can I do to facilitate change, right? What can I do? And then there are 3 ways to facilitate change. Let's talk about this for a second. We were, actually, it was New Jersey for Thanksgiving 2 years ago. And I had daughters, 2 of my 4 daughters were in the car, the twins, the youngest 2, and we're headed for New Jersey. We're going to go spend Thanksgiving with my sister. And I put on the audiobook of Outwitting the Devil. And we're listening to it. And just before Whitney is about to fall asleep, she's like, turn it off. I don't want to miss anything that book has to say. Doing what it was designed to do, which is on that book. Outwitting the Devil was written in 1938 by Napoleon Hill. 1938. Like, that's like forever ago. How in the world did it just recently get published? Here's why. Napoleon Hill's wife said, no, you are not going to publish that book while I'm still alive. Well, he died, and then she lived until 1984. And then she died, and it passed on to one of her nephews. Well, the nephew's wife also didn't want that book to be published while she was still alive. And then she recently died, and then he went ahead and published the manuscript. And it turned out to be the process of outwitting the devil. Now, the concept behind the book is that the devil has control of people who do not control their own thoughts, that do not control their own minds. So when we start talking about 3 ways we can facilitate change, on this call we were talking about people like, well, there's so much wrong in the world. How can I affect change in other people? How can I be the change? How can I change the world? I'm just me. And there's so much to do. How do I solve that problem? And as the discussion went on, we talked about narrowing the thought process of what is within, again, our immediate control. What is within your threshold of control? And what can I actually control? So step number 1 is I can only control me. I can control the thoughts I think. I can control the food that goes into my body. I can control decisions that immediately impact me. I can't control you. I can't do anything except control what goes into my body and what goes into my mind. What goes in through my eyes, through my ears, in through my mouth. I get to control that. So step number 1 is we have to be the change that we want to see. And I know it's so cliche, right? But it's true. We have to be the change we want to see. If we don't transform our thought process, if we don't change the way we think, and we don't change the way we feel, again, we control our thoughts. We have stimulus. We tell ourselves a story. We have the feelings that come in after that. And then we act based on the feelings that we just generated because of the thoughts we chose to think. Because again, we can lessen the impact of those thoughts if we assume the least amount of harm possible when it's a negative thing that happens, right? If we assume the least amount of harm possible, well, then they weren't attacking me. It just something that happened. Okay, so now what's within the threshold of my control? Okay, now what actions can I take to solve the problem? Going back to my car that I thought was stolen a couple of days ago, right? It's a big difference. The way the story we tell ourselves. So we've got to control the story we tell ourselves. Therefore, we can control the actions we take, right? Step 2. So 1, be the change. Step 2, inspire the change. Well, how do we inspire the change? Live as an example, right? We inspire the change by doing the thing, by living the example of the change that we want to see. We embody it. We embrace it. We actively participate in it. We have become the change that we wanted to see because we have to be first. We be and we do, then we can have. By the way, if you like this, like it, Subscribe to it, hit the little bell so that you're notified every time we go live. We do these things every day. Step number 3, facilitate the change. What are you talking about, David? Facilitate the change. We teach, preach, expound, exhort. We use our time, talent, treasure. We do whatever is within our power to inspire others to take that first step, to take personal responsibility to change their lives forever. I can't change your life, but hopefully I can say something that will help inspire you to want to take an action that will help transform your life. I've hired so many people over the years, and many of them, the job was the very first job they'd ever had. I had to teach work ethic. I had to teach some of them how to shower, that they actually need to shower before they come to work. I had to teach them how to dress. I sent people home when they weren't dressed appropriately for an interview, and made them come back after they dressed appropriately for the interview, where they were showing respect for themselves as well as respect for me, their potential employer. And many of the people that I taught refused to take the action. However, many of the people I taught did take the action. They started taking those small steps, which started a snowball, and it was amazing. Everybody has to inspire people to change, right? So what do we have the ability to control? We have the ability to control and change this right here. We have the ability to control the actions that we take on a daily basis, and we have the ability to control how we share the message that we've learned, how we inspire others to do the same, right? Take that message, share that message. One thing that I've done poorly is just broadcasting to one social media outlet. This live should be going to all of my social media outlets. So the next thing on my agenda is to figure out how to do that, right? Figure out how to stream through StreamYard or whatever to make it happen to all my platforms at the same time. Why? Because I need to reach more people with an inspiring message. Again, if you like this, like it, share it, hit the bell, get notified each time, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, outwitting the devil is a process, and a process that we enter into on a daily basis. Let's get to work.